Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 23rd to the 29th of May 2022. So we start the week with the Sun moving into Gemini recently, and this takes us up to the summer solstice. So with Mercury retrograde, Mercury being the ruler of Gemini, this is a very quirky period where our minds and especially our words will sometimes act in surprising ways. It can be revelations, things that appear as mistakes but are very much indications to teach us something or to help to show us where we can make changes to improve our lives. So very vocal, very mental, very bright, buzzy, funny, youthful, Sun in Gemini energy, but with that added dose of Mercury retrograde, which we're all fairly familiar with now. But in home sign, then this could be some interesting communications or comedies of errors happening. But the main energy of the week is actually in Aries, and I mentioned a couple of weeks ago we haven't had that much Aries energy this year. We were immersed in some very, very etheric water of Pisces for a long, long time, and then we jumped into some strong Taurus energy, almost missing the Aries, but it comes back in now as we have Mars moving into Aries, and Mars is at home in Aries, so we've got lots of home planets going on at the moment. So Mars going into Aries across the equinox point really starts to spark things up, but by Saturday meets with Jupiter, and this is the highlight of the week and possibly one of the highlights of the year. Mars and Jupiter together in Aries. So whereas our lives have felt like we've been on hold for a very long time in order to go in, recalibrate, restructure, revision, recenter and connect with our passion, everything's been slow and inwards. And with the Pisces energy deeply cleansing, with the Earth energy restructuring. But this is fire energy now, so I think we're going to have some real vibrant get up and go moments going forward. And Jupiter will be direct until July and then dip back into Pisces in October, November, but back into Aries for a much longer period. Actually on the winter solstice, which is a celebration of fire, rebirth of the sun. So we get our first taster here from now to July of some very ignited, empowered and dynamic Aryan energy with Jupiter there and Mars lighting the fuse. So the only complication I see here really is that we have still got Mercury retrograde in Gemini. So we're going to want to act impetuously, we're going to want to initiate, we're going to want to be active, and yet we're in the recalibration phase of Mercury retrograde. So there's a very fine line to be balanced here. But maybe just enjoy the more active energies. Just actually feel that surge, a sense of life returning, a sense of energy, dynamism, without actually having to act on it. Or if we do, just be ready to change our mind and change our plans as we go along. Because Mercury will be direct next week, so this is just going to be all feisty and electrical. But if we can maybe just write down some of our plans, enjoy the brightness, fire ourselves up a bit, but wait until next week to actually act upon any of our ideas, then that would be the best use of the energies this week. By Sunday we have Venus moving into Taurus, which is another home planet. Venus belongs in Taurus. So we really do have a sense of homecoming here, which is wonderful because, again, after a couple of years and possibly even a couple of centuries of being distracted on the outside and going far from home, the last 2 years have brought us back into our home and heart centre. And with all these planets actually in their own signs, it feels like a starting party, if that makes sense. We're recentered, back to soul self, starting to feel which way the wind's blowing, what's best for us, what we're excited about manifesting. And everything's on home ground, giving a nice, solid and natural feel to many of the signs. So Venus in Taurus by the end of the week, and then on Monday at 12:30 p.m. UK time we have the new moon in Gemini. So this is at 9 degrees for anybody that's following along. And all I was saying about Gemini at the beginning of the video applies to a new moon in Gemini and being aware that we have Mercury retrograde as well. So we were talking last week about the power to change our perception, change our mind, go back into the past, review things. Did they really go down that way? Did you perceive them? Did you take things too seriously and too personally and make a story of it? Because that's the real blessing of the Mercury retrograde this time round. And with this new moon coming in, if we've deleted those stories because they were simply ideas that we held on to, then we've got a fresh start as we go into next week. and Mercury will be turning direct by the 2nd. So very bouncy, vibrant, lively, exciting energy there. Just enjoy the life of it, really. The pulse, the sense of wanting to direct ourselves towards something really rewarding, and feel really into that and take some notes before we can activate in the weeks ahead. So if you'd like to see where this is happening for you, I am available, zoehind7@gmail.com, for chart readings, custom lessons, tarot, astrology, numerology, how to create personal calendars according to your chart, many other things, or for coaching sessions to help you revise, change perceptions, delete old stories, revitalise and rejuvenate, realign, so that you are directing all your divine energy in the right direction. So do contact me for any of that. I'm happy to have a phone call to discuss what's right for you, design sessions that are perfect for you. These videos and more are on my YouTube channel Zoe Astro, and I post links on my Facebook at AstroZoe and Instagram at zoehind7. So enjoy this week. Feels like spring is finally here. Start to fire up our cylinders, feel the fire in our cells and the pulse of life, activating our dreams. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week.